we started bringing this up. We started having this conversation about the Panthers' kind of lack of big plays and if there's a way that maybe the play calling or the mindset of the team could change to where they could hunt big plays a bit more and chase them down a bit more. And Dennis immediately got on his computer and he starts searching up longest touchdowns and big plays and this, that, and the other. And there have been 2 touchdowns this year, offense or defense, that were longer than 7 yards for the Carolina Panthers.
That's correct.
And we again, this was this morning. We had this conversation. And he goes, well, one of them was the pick 6 by Shaw Smith-Wade, which was, 13 yards?
13 yards?
13 yards.
Against Atlanta.
And then there was the week 1 touchdown reception on the swing pass up the sideline by Chuba Hubbard.
Yeah, which was a 27-yard play.
So those are the only 2 touchdowns scored by a Panther this year that took more than 7 yards to get into the end zone. I'm not saying that like an 8-yard touchdown is a gigantic play, but it's, a 10, 12-yarder, like that's a big play, right? That is a explosive, whatever you want to call it. And so we were coming into this segment to talk about how the Panthers only have 2 touchdowns longer than 7 yards. That was going to be part of the point made. And during the commercial before the segment, we learned that neither of them practiced. If Shaw Smith-Wade and Chuba Hubbard don't play this week, which we don't know, but they didn't practice today, they will be going into an NFL game more than a month into the season with nobody on the active roster that has scored a touchdown longer than 7 yards this season. Not offense, not defense, not special teams. That right there is why, if you're looking for a statistics reason, why, when they get punched in the mouth, when another team makes a good play, they have such a hard time turning the momentum back onto their side. Why they have such a hard time, once they get behind, catching up and closing that gap. It is very, very difficult, very, very difficult to score a touchdown in the NFL. Okay? Just baseline difficult. It's why if you go and listen to Mic'd Up of Bill Belichick when he was with the Patriots, or now Mike Vrabel with the Patriots, I don't know why those are the 2 coming to my mind. But if their team scores, they don't care if it's an ugly score, 2-yard score, 5-yard score. They don't care if the defender fell down and it was a walk-in busted coverage touchdown. They will play the film for their team and say, everyone on that offense better be celebrating, because scoring a touchdown in the NFL is difficult, and you better celebrate when you can do it, okay? So that is just tough in and of itself. It becomes astronomically more difficult if you have to go 14 plays and 80 yards and convert 4 third downs and maybe a first or a fourth down conversion on your way to scoring a touchdown. Really, the only way to make scoring a touchdown easier is to find a way to do it on less plays. And that is the nature of big play football. That is why a play caller hunts big plays, because it's easier. Dennis, you're holding up your notebook. That tells me you got some stats.
I do. Talk about how grinding these drives can be in order for the Panthers to score a touchdown. Here are their touchdown drives this season on offense. Again, the Shaw Smith-Wade pick 6, excluded here. 10 plays, 14 plays, 14 plays, 12 plays, 9 plays, 9 plays, 7 plays, 13 plays.
Now that is, I'm not saying those are bad drives, right? Because it's good to, if you can put a 10-play touchdown drive, it is a bit backbreaking for the defense, and it's a statement. But if that's the only way you're scoring,
that's the problem.
It's just so, your degree of difficulty is Simone Biles level, and you need it you're in a 7 years old and younger gymnastics event. It's so much more difficult than it has to be.
And we also wonder why this team has failed 4 games this season, have had 4 2-minute drives, either end of half or end of game, and have failed in all 4.
There's no chunks.
They haven't gotten past the 30-yard line on a 2-minute drill.
There's no chunk plays. And if you take away Chuba Hubbard, I know Shaw Smith-Wade, that quote unquote long touchdown is difficult to replicate, right? That like a pick six is you never go into a game going like, well, we're going to bank on a pick six from him.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe Ed Reed back in the day, but nobody else. But you take away Chuba Hubbard. I don't think Chuba Hubbard's the most explosive guy on the planet. As a matter of fact, I think if there is a weak link in his game, it is his ability to score like longer than 30-yard touchdowns.
I know he had a 38-yarder last year against Chicago, and I think he had a 28-yard touchdown run against Arizona in overtime. But yeah, it's not an often thing. At
this point, I would love it if a Panthers drive could guarantee me a 12-yard play. Like at this point, the big plays, and I'm not asking for an 80-yard touchdown every game. I'm asking that you try for an 80-yard touchdown every game. Certain play calls that the Panthers have been using, certain drives, it's almost like they're already aware when they start a first down. Like, well, if it's third and we have anything more than 3rd and 4, we have no shot. So let's make sure we get 3 here. Whether they do or not, that seems to be the goal. And I'm going like, well, it would be nice if you tested them deep. Dave Canales spoke to the media. We have some clips here for you to build into this conversation. Dave Canales on trying to get more explosive plays on offense.
There's good stuff, and there's pockets of big plays on the defense, on special teams, in a couple of phases offensively. The lack of big plays, right, and trying to find a way to find explosives through the run game or the pass game. So those are some of the general things, and then there's just a lot of details, a lot of communicating together, and execution, that we're counting on to carry over, and it's got to be consistent, because there are these in each game. There are drives where we're executing, we're talking, we're making the things happen, and then there's mistakes being made, and certainly, myself included, in that, in different phases of the games, different decisions and all that, on plays to call. All of us just making sure we're taking accountability for the things that we can improve on.
Here's the deal. I agree. They're like, there are drives where you have a good stretch and then you make a mistake. That happens, right? They're human. They're not the most experienced team in the world. They don't have, a Derrick Henry or something that they can just continuously churn out first downs. So that makes the big plays even more worthy of the chance, right? Let's say I'm just spitballing here, grabbing numbers hypothetically. On average, every 8 plays, somebody on the Panthers offense makes a critical error, right? Somebody holds, so they're now 2nd and 20, right? Somebody tips up a pass that they should catch, so it's at risk of interception. Bryce puts the ball in harm's way. Let's say once out of every 8 plays. As long as you avoid that average, you can have a 12-play touchdown drive. But your chances of getting a touchdown, if it only takes 6 plays to do it, it's much better if you average a mistake every 8 plays. And I don't know what the actual numbers are, but it's really difficult to go along, like drive, play, without anybody making that kind of mistake. You only need one person. It's the ultimate team sport. You only need one person to make a critical error to have it all fall apart.
Oh, yeah.
Ike Ekwonu whiffs on one block. Now you have Bryce Young, blindside hit, fumble, bad things happen. Bryce Young holds onto the ball 1 extra second because he misses a read. But okay, now he's forcing it into a small window and it's at risk of interception. It only takes one person to make the mistake. Wide receiver runs a wrong route. One person to make a mistake and the whole drive goes down the drain.
And derails everything.
And going 13, 14 plays without one person making a mistake on an 11-player offense? I'm not even going to try to do the on-air math, but I can type it in. That's 154 players, individual plays, right? 11 players, 14 plays. That's 154 individuals that have to do the right thing on a play. Meanwhile, if you go 11 players on, say, a 7-play drive, it's only 77.
On-air math.
On-air math that is definitely calculator-aided. And the reason why I put this out there is there was a quote from Dave Canales saying they have to avoid the catastrophic plays. That's what he used. They have to avoid the catastrophic plays. And I went, yeah, smart. Every coach will say that. But there needs to be something. You need to have a tool that you go to if you do allow a catastrophic play. Right? It can't be we have no plan B. Our plan A, allow no catastrophic plays, right? No touchdowns allowed on special teams, no turnovers, no 60-yard touchdowns given up by our defense. Plan A is no catastrophic plays allowed. Plan B is, well, we don't know what to do. We gave up catastrophic plays. We can't do it. Like, that's not a good plan B. Plan B has to be fight fire with fire. We gave up a 60-yard touchdown. Let's get a 70-yard touchdown. We gave up a punt return. Let's get a punt block. Like, there has to be the we can level the playing field, right? You get a long touchdown. Oh, look at that. We schemed open Fritterer and McMillan over the middle and deep, and he caught it and scored a touchdown of our own. Now we're back to square one. There has to be some tool you use to fight when you give up those catastrophic plays. Because the other guys get paid a lot of money too, right? The other guys were first-round picks too. You're playing Miami this week. Jalen Waddle, he's a good player. Devon Achane, he's fast too. They're paid to make big plays, and they might. You can't just go, well, our plan was to not allow that. Now, and then it builds into, and we're gonna go over a little bit here. Dave Canales was asked about being more aggressive on 2nd and short this week. 2nd down and short yardage, 2nd and 2, 2nd and 1, 2nd and 3, right? Which means you had a good play on 1st down. Part of his quote was, my philosophy is that on 2nd and short, you run the ball. He said a lot of things that I agree with. Mm-hmm. He has said a lot of things that I write off as coach speak. He has said a handful of things since taking over as head coach of the Carolina Panthers that has rubbed me the wrong way, and even a smaller percentage of things that have infuriated me. That might be the most infuriating quote he's ever had.
So to add on to that, to expand upon that reason, he said because they want to be a physical team, any chance they have to be a physical running team, he wants to take advantage of. And I always say when it comes to that, it's like, well, there's still time and place, right? Hey, if your defense just gave up a big play and you want to kind of slow some momentum down, then sure, run the ball on 2nd and 3. That's totally fine. But maybe, hey, we're kind of cooking here a little bit, 2nd and 3. Hey, let's go that deep post.
The best part about being a physical football team is that the opposing team has to play defense as if they're going up against a physical football team. 2nd and 3, they want to get off the field. They are doing everything they can to stop you from picking up that 1st down, which means their linebackers can't play 6 yards off because the 1st down is 3 yards. They're coming up because you're a physical football team. They're coming up thinking you're going to run the ball. That's the opportunity for the big play. If you only hunt for big plays on 3rd and 11, you're always going to be hunting for big plays with 2 safeties high as heck and edge rushers with their ears pinned back and linebackers dropping into coverage, and you're just making your job more difficult than it has to be. And do you know what's the best part about 2nd down?
You got 3rd down.
And 4th.
And 4th.
You got more chance. If you're a big physical football team on 2nd and 2, why do you need to do it on 2nd down? You're a big physical football team. You get 2 yards on 3rd down because you're big and physical. You're like, I'm a big physical football team, so we need 3 tries to get 2 yards. And by the way, I'm not saying every 2nd down and short you take a chance, but 2nd down and short is traditionally a good opportunity to take a chance because you do have more tries in your back pocket if you need them. But play calling has no rules. At best, it has guidelines, but it has no rules because rules are predictable. And if you have rules, defensive coordinators call them tendencies. And tendencies are bad to have as a play caller. Big plays are the equalizer. We didn't even get to Jimmy Horn might be able to provide some of that. Well, maybe we'll get to it later in the show.